bright star in the nighttime. I'ma go hard when it's my time. Yeah, I'm hard and I'm light. You know you can't pause when the time's right. Sitting in the stars and watch.
Good evening and welcome to Chatbox with Sam. Tonight's guest is actor, producer and director Roberto Sanchez. Good evening, Roberto. How are you?
Good evening. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm doing good too. It's a Friday night and we're here on Chatbox with Sam for season 3 and let's chat.
Currently, the second film that I directed is called Heroes. And I wanted to tell the story of that comic book world and this young boy who's kind of new in town and he's being bullied by some of the locals. And one day he runs into the comic book store. I'm the comic book store owner. Yes. And now he's introduced into this whole world of superheroes and villains. Oh, and you know, he and I start to develop a relationship, and you know, there's some life lessons in the film, and you know, it's been doing very well in the festival circuit.
I know. I read that you like comic books, and you were also quite a good basketball player.
Yeah, you know what? I am. I'm not trying to be modest. I'm trying to be modest, but that basketball part of me always, you know, that likes to talk a little bit of trash always comes out. I'm like, yeah, I can take ball. You know, right after high school, I went into the military and did 11 years in the Navy. And toward the end of that, I happened to start getting into modeling. I had a friend of mine who was a model, and you know, I looked kind of good back then. You know, now
you still look good now, Roberto.
The agent that I had said, Roberto, I know you're not into acting, but there's a huge movie coming into Miami, and I don't know. I think you have a great look. I'm going to send you. I booked it, and you know, worked on that for about 3 months, and then it was like, okay, now what do I do? I had now been introduced to this world of just, you know, famous actors and bunch of people and bunch of cars, and the money was good. And
Paul Walker.
Have fun doing it. So yeah, if I had a preference, I would love to do more comedy.
Right.
So the first thing that I wrote and directed was a film called The Terms of Us. And the reason I wanted to write that because it's the story about the search for my mother, who I had not seen in 11 years. And then I decided, you know, there was a friend of mine whose mom was ill, and that made me start to reflect on the relationship with my mom, or lack of, and that got me to search for her. So it took about 3 weeks to find her. She was in Miami. Remember, at this point, I hadn't seen her in 11 years.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Roberto.
No, it's okay. It's things that, you know, happen to all of us in life.
Yeah.
But then when we found her, and I'm all excited, I'm on the phone, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta call my brother. He's gonna be excited. I can't believe it. You know, blah blah blah. He gets my attention, and then I find out that she had died 6 months earlier.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm not trying to bring everybody. I started to realize that it wasn't that my mom was evil or hated me. It was that she suffered from mental illness. She suffered from depression. She was bipolar. And these are things that as a kid, I don't know what the hell that is, especially in the 80s when that probably wasn't even addressed the way it is today.
No, they probably wouldn't have had no clue how to even treat it or diagnose it.
Sure.
They argue now because someone else has got the remote control. Ridiculous.
We're arguing over Fruit Loops. Is it really?
They're my Fruit Loops. I want them.
Fruit Loops that you took. When it's all said and done, and your time on this earth is about to end, make sure that your tank is on empty.
Oh.
When that moment comes, don't still have half a tank left, because that's half a tank of things that you wanted to do that you didn't do. Make sure that when that day comes, when it's the end of the road, this is such a depressing conversation. But
It's not.
when that moment comes and it's the end of the road, make sure that your tank is empty. Yeah, I mean, I love to move. I probably don't dance as much as I'd like to, uh, but it's a there's something free about dancing and just letting go of all those inhibitions and all that nervousness. Oh, somebody's watching and this and that. Just there's something so happy about dancing.
I love it.
If you want, if I have a set, I think it would be this particular set because we've had so much fun shooting. It's a comedy, and I got to tell you, the first day that I see Carol Burnett, I was like, oh my god! Like I've been in this game 20 years, so I've worked with everybody. I don't get starstruck about nobody.
No.
But when I saw this woman, I was like, oh shit! The director says, Roberto, would you like to meet Carol? And I was like, yeah. Brings me over, and we're getting ready to shoot a scene. And he brings me over, and he's like, hey, Carol, I wanted to introduce you to Roberto. He plays Pinky. And I'm like, how you doing, Ms. Burnett? My name is, and she's looking at me like, because he can't even remember his name. It was like so embarrassing.
I'm a bright star in the nighttime.